Uncertainty is deeply uncomfortable. An open question sits in the mind like a splinter, unresolved, itching for closure. And as we learned from part 1 and elsewhere across this series, System 1 is motivated to make discomfort go away fast. So when it meets a gap, a thing nobody has proven either way, it doesn't sit patiently in the "we don't know yet" box. That box feels terrible. The desire shapeshifts from knowledge-seeking to whatever will relieve the anxiety. That's how the gap gets filled. Not with evidence, but with whatever answer relieves the tension quickest. We'll get into exceptions to this rule in part 3, and notice which answer it reaches for. Usually the one you already believe. The gap doesn't get filled at random. It gets filled with your existing hopes, fears, and loyalties. I don't know becomes "so I'm probably right," and it happens before your slow, careful System 2 mind has even sat down. Let's now take a look at some of the most famous or infamous variations of the argument from ignorance, beginning with the one that's probably going to offend some of you: the God of the gaps. Taking a gap in scientific knowledge and resolving it by introducing an unprovable entity by swapping an unexplained physical mystery for a supernatural one. That's God of the gaps, the ultimate shortcut to relieve psychological discomfort. But "we don't know yet" isn't permission to insert your preferred answer and call the case closed. Science doesn't fully understand the origin of the universe. That's the gap. But plugging in God doesn't solve it. It just swaps an unexplained natural mystery for an even bigger supernatural one. The Red Scare of the 1950s. Senator Joseph McCarthy built a career on a single move. He would name a person, produce no evidence, and announce that nothing in his files disproved their disloyalty. No proof of innocence, so guilt. An entire era of ruined lives ran on the argument from ignorance wearing a flag pin. The paranormal. No one has been able to explain that light in the sky, so it's extraterrestrial. The failure of every ordinary explanation gets counted as a point for the extraordinary one. But unexplained and explained by my theory are two very different concepts. The marketing whisperer. There's no evidence our product causes any harm. Often true, and often meaningless, because no one has looked. Absence of a warning label is not a clean bill of health. Now here's what most people miss. Not every "we haven't proven it" is a fallacy. Sometimes the absence of proof is exactly the rule we should be following, and telling the difference is the whole skill. Think about a courtroom. Innocent until proven guilty. Sounds like the argument from ignorance. We haven't proven guilt, so we treat you as not guilty, but it isn't a fallacy. Here's why. It's a deliberate institutional rule about where to place the burden and who pays for a mistake. The court isn't claiming you are innocent as a fact about reality. It's refusing to act against you until there is sufficient evidence to warrant it. That isn't lazy thinking. That's the burden of proof working exactly as designed. What a lot of people miss, even some lawyers, is that our criminal justice system tests strictly for guilt, not innocence. They are two different standards. In a criminal trial, the binary is guilty or not guilty, and that distinction is what keeps the system from collapsing on itself. Science does the same thing with the null hypothesis. We assume no effect until the evidence shows the effect. Here, the burden of proof is embedded in the test itself, and the conclusion becomes whatever the evidence shows. That's it. To be pedantic for a moment, the claim, in the scientific method, is the hypothesis. The test determines whether the hypothesis is accepted or rejected, with the default being null. In other words, the scientific method treats no effect as the default presumption. Just like a jury, science never issues a verdict of innocent. It only decides if the evidence is strong enough to convict the data of showing a real effect, of existing, or if the verdict is simply not guilty of existing. So how do you tell the honest version from the fallacy? Ask what's being claimed. If someone says, "We haven't proven it, so let's not act as though we have," That's the burden of proof operating rationally. When someone says, "You haven't proven it false, so it must be true," that's an argument from ignorance fallacy. Why? Because the standard for any claim requires one thing: actual evidence. Failing to disprove option A isn't positive proof for option B. It's a magician's trick, trying to hide a total lack of evidence by pointing out a flaw in the other side. So why can't we simply resolve to hold the gap open and wait? Because it's easier, way easier, to just fill the gap with what we want the truth to be. It's sort of like, well, you don't know and I don't know, so I'm going with what I would like it to be. I don't know is one of the most uncomfortable sentences a mind can hold, and System 1 is built to end that discomfort before System 2 even wakes up. By the time your slow, reasonable mind arrives to ask, wait, who actually owes the proof here? The hole has already been filled, and the feeling of closure has already set like concrete. In Part 3, we address how we can get a lazy System 2 off the couch to intervene on System 1 errors while there's still time. This is the fun part, the part where we get to watch ourselves become smarter. But that's not even the best part. For all of this, the asking price is a like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, I'm John Balla, reminding you to think critically and choose wisely.